Today in this video, we are going to talk about the absolute hardest thing about moving abroad if you're a parent. Welcome to Track Us Down. If you're just finding us, I'm Monique.
And I'm Doug. Our channel is all about downshifting to an early retirement, learning a healthy lifestyle, living a healthy lifestyle, and enjoying all the freedom that comes with it.
After over 25 years of working hard and raising our family, we retired from our careers, we sold everything, and we began our second half of life. We make our base here on the beautiful island of Madeira. As many of you know, we have been living abroad for almost a year now, and one of the hardest parts for us, and one of the hardest parts that we get asked a lot about, whether that's in person when we meet people or in emails or Instagram, is how do you deal with being away from your kids? Our kids are adults, and most people who are looking at coming abroad in retirement do have adult children, and leaving them back in North America or in the UK or in Australia is often one of their biggest concerns. And they're often asked, what is the mindset that you have living abroad from your children? And what are some of the ways that you think about it? So today we're going to share that with you.
But before we get going, if you like our videos and you'd like to see more, please like and subscribe to our channel. We really appreciate it, and it really helps our little channel grow.
Number one, really think about what is it that you're really missing. So what I mean by that is sometimes when I really miss our boys, what I'm really missing is years and years ago when they were younger and we had our family of 4 and we lived in one house and I controlled the schedule and we ate dinner together and they had sports and we were always together. And that's what I feel like I'm really missing when I think about them. The reality of that is, even if we lived in the same city, they're adults now. They're in their 20s. They have their own lives. They have their own places. I would be missing that even if I was there. I would be missing the olden days. And actually, we're really happy that they've moved on in their 20s. We don't want a failure to launch situation where they would be living with us endlessly.
Hey, Ma! Can we get some meatloaf?
We're really proud of them and happy for them that they've moved on with their lives. So sometimes for us, it's really remembering, what is it we're really missing here? Is it realistic even if we were in the same city? So that's one that we think about often.
And the next point, just further to what Monique was saying, is this is the whole point that you're raising them, is to be independent. Whether you have 1, 2, or 5 kids, you want them to go out into the world, make their own way, be independent, and live a good life. If you smother them too much or coddle them too much, like Monique said, they may not leave the nest. And so for us, it was important to lead by example, that there's more to life. You can still go out into the world and lead an exciting life, but still be close as a family. There's a saying that goes, a family that's close will always be close. We feel that we are citizens of the world, and we've always kind of felt that. We've traveled quite a bit, and we sure had that sense when we were traveling that really, at the end of the day, we're just part of the whole entire world. And we want the same thing for them. No matter where they're living in the world, they're citizens of the world, and we can always still get together. For us, that has been so true. No matter where we are, we still get together. We feel like one big family again. And really, in today's day and age, you're only a drive or a plane ride away.
Point number 3. This one is the one we think about, and especially if you're a numbers person. I'm going to be looking at my notes because I did the numbers for what I think we would need. If you're a numbers person, you can do the math about the reality of time that you would really be spending with your adult children, even if you lived in the same city. So for us, that would probably look like about 3 hours a week, Sunday dinner, 3 hours. So 3 times 4 is 12 hours a month. And maybe drop-bys or little stopovers, maybe another 3 hours. So we're looking at about 15 hours a month that I think that we would realistically see our boys if we lived in the same city. So you times that by 12 and you get 180 hours. If you think about that, and then you think about 2 weeks of them coming over and having 24 hours access to them for 2 weeks a year, 14 days, 2 weeks, times 24 hours equals 336 hours. And of course, you have to take off the time you're sleeping, approximately 8 hours a night, so minus 112 hours. That adds up to 224 hours for the 2 weeks that you are together. One-on-one time for those entire 2 weeks. You're doing exciting things, you're having adventures together, you're spending quality time together. The 2 weeks together is really, really fantastic because you actually have them one-on-one. There's no friends, there's no work, it's just time together. And of course, that's not all for us. Usually we also would go back to wherever they are, and so those 2 weeks would become longer. So for us, doing the math and really looking at the hours really helped us settle that we could handle this.
And the next big point to remember is that it's not the 1800s anymore. Back in the olden days when somebody left the old country to go to the new country, and funny enough, here we are leaving the new country to go back to the old country, but when you left, it could be for a lifetime. You may never see family back again. And if you wrote a letter, it would take weeks or months to get there. Even back early 90s when I was backpacking in Australia, it was still by letters. There was no internet yet, and if you wrote a letter, it took 3 weeks to get back there or a package to send, besides a phone call, which were very expensive. Nowadays, with technology, it is so simple. You have FaceTime, you have Skype, you have Google, even Google Maps. You can look up where somebody's living, drive around the whole area. You can feel connected to them. There's so many ways to stay connected, and it's so easy with technology. And of course, the old standby, anybody you want to talk to is a quick text or iMessage away. It's like being next door to them.
Let's use the app. Picture this to find out what this is. This is a fire spike, also called a scarlet flame. Nice. The next point is a plane ride is a plane ride. So whether that is you live near your children and you're driving a few hours to see them, or you're hopping on a short plane ride to see them, it's a longer plane ride, but it's doable. If we had to be there, it's a plane ride away, and that is very, very possible.
Yeah, I mean, really, the difference between a plane ride from one side of the country to the other is pretty much the same as a plane ride from North America over here. So we take maybe 2-3 plane rides and we're back where we grew up. So it's pretty easy in that sense. And the last point that we want to emphasize is that this doesn't have to be permanent. This is a great adventure. We're enjoying our second half of life. And it should be like this in retirement. You only live once, but nothing is permanent. It doesn't have to be. At any time, we can pack up shop, sell, and move back to where we came from. And that may be for any number of reasons. If any one of us gets sick and we decide we want to be back in North America, closer to friends and family, we can do that. If family members back in North America get really sick, we can always move back then too. But for now, like we said earlier, we're a quick FaceTime or iMessage away and a quick plane ride away as well.
Nothing is done that can't be undone. We hope that some of the ideas we talked about help some of you parents out there who may be struggling with moving abroad, and this may be something on your mind. It is the hardest part. They're your children. You love them, whether they're 15, 25, or older. But it can be done. There's ways to do a little bit of a mind shift and ways to work it out. And we feel as close as a family as ever.
So once again, we're getting close. We're working on our 10,000 subscriber level. So if you like this, please subscribe to it. And if you know of others who might benefit from a channel like ours of retiring early, living a healthy lifestyle, and enjoying a great second half of life after retirement, after you've raised your family, please forward it to them. We'd really appreciate it.
And as always, check back in and
track us down.